my sons are debating about something, or and we're talking. It's like, wait a minute, let's look it up and see and see who's right.
Yeah, sometimes we have games. Okay, let's see who can find it quicker, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So the three entities allowed to pay the down payment. Now the closing cost side, right now, and this is really important for agents, for buyers, sellers to understand. It's how has inflation affected closing costs with mortgages? Well, I like to break the closing costs down into three sections. So literally in the way the laws break down and the paperwork, it has to almost go down into these sections when they're breaking it down to make it very easy. And the closing costs are higher, and it's really not because of inflation and that the certain fees at number one, which are your hard cost. That's the technical term we'll use usually. Hard costs, okay. Hard costs are your third party fees, the third party entities, your title, your escrow, your lender fees. Our lender fees and lender banks, whoever, there's overhead, which mainly is for processing and underwriting. You can't do a loan without amazing processing and underwriting. That's where I'm blessed. I'm on Team Hartwell. It is the best team this side of heaven. Our support cast from my transaction coordinator to processing.
And I can vouch for that, Robert, because how many transactions have you and I completed and gone through, and we've closed every single one, man. And
Yep.
I just have to give you credit for that and your team, because it's made my life a lot easier. And you guys are straight to the point. Ray, we're going to need this document. Okay, let me get it to you as soon as I can. Of course, the process is a little tedious and time consuming sometimes, but guys, if you want to get to that next level, if you want to get into that property, you're going to have to do your homework and take those steps to get to that point, right? You have to start somewhere.
And leadership means a lot. I am, because you actually met me right when I was transitioning. So it's been about 4 years now, or 3 or 4 since 2019.
Yes, yes.
And it was kind of like, and hashtag Team Hartwell. I've known he's at the regional now. He's big. Yeah, he's Daniel Hartwell. He's amazing. We are the same age, and I actually down the hill when we were both the 20-year-olds working at the same company.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that's how we met back in the day.
That's great history.
And then life happens, and then bam, there was, stuff happens a lot since 98.
Absolutely.
And and we actually I found him like when after it was right around the time we met. I actually reconnected with him, and right when I recognized him, I'm like, bam. From there it was like, I'm on your team.
Right on.
He couldn't deny it.
That's
he had
awesome.
No choice. So that has actually helped my reputation amazingly too, because as you know, it's like it's a lot easier, especially again when you have the right support cast. So shout out to hashtag Team Hartwell, my transaction coordinator, Sarah Spear, our processor, Rebecca Coda. They're amazing. And of course, leadership up top, Daniel Hartwell. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Getting back into that, and again, you can get a hold of me at 760-669-7813. My NMLS number is 322918. I work with FBC Mortgage, is an equal housing lender. NMLS number 152859. Hashtag Team Hartwell, and you can find my YouTube channel, Mortgage Talk Podcast. I promise to get more videos up.
I will help you with that, Robert.
Thank you.
We'll get together and we'll start posting like crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna. I have a lot of videos to post from a lot of topics. So, and you can find me on Facebook and all that. Raymond.
Yeah. So my wife and I were local investors up here in the high desert. We're buy and hold investors. So we buy properties to rent them out long term. And we also have a restaurant called the Springhouse Family Restaurant in Hesperia at 16441 Main Street, Hesperia, California, 92345. You can that phone number to the restaurant is 760-949-2441. All American Diner. Come out and check us out. We've been there for ages. We just bought it in 2018. So completely new service, and people seem to be loving this place, guys. Come on, check it out. And you can,
Delicious.
yeah, reach me on my YouTube channel also at Investing in Rentals. I found my passion, along with Instagram and TikTok at Aquino Ray 99.
So what you know, we're gonna get into choosing the right rate and doing all that. Get back into the technical talk, but Ray, where are you at? How's your week been going? What kind of progress? Because I know I'm waiting for when you want to make your next move, when you're ready to get back. So what do you experience? How's it going?
Okay, so I'm glad you asked me. This morning I woke up early. Today's my day off from my W-2 job, right? I'm a truck driver and I work 14 to 16 hours a day. Today just happens to be my day off, but my days off aren't really days off, Robert, especially with everything that I have going on, right? So this morning I went to one of the properties. We're having new flooring put in, painting, and I got an estimate for some concrete in the back. I went to the Pinion Hills property, which I'm going to be refinancing with you soon, Robert, and I was amazed. The contractor, they've made a lot of progress in the last week, so I'm very pleased. When I got there this morning, they weren't working because of the weather, but I was very pleased by the progress, man. So I'm going to be coming to you and giving you a jingle, Robert, just to refinance that property and get ready to buy some more.
Yeah,
Let's
be in
do it.
position. Yeah, exactly. So that's amazing because we were talking. You know, of course, it's an experience when you go through it, and all of a sudden, bam! You always kept an open mind and like, look, I'm just rolling with it.
Yeah.
Dealing, I love it.
Well, when we first started, you remember how reluctant I was to refinance, to buy down the points. I was like, 40 grand, but that's with four different transactions.
Yeah.
Mind you.
So let's choosing the right rate. That gets us right into what we wanted to
Yes.
talk about, and that's going into that number 3, your down payment and closing cost. Let's get back into that technical talk because the down payment, that's your stake in the game. If you're doing any kind of down payment assistance, it's not free money usually. It's unless it's a grant, and that's runs out quick if you can find it, and that's great if you can come if that can happen. But the standard ones, they're going to put a silent lien on the house, usually at a very small interest rate to nothing, and it's great opportunity. But if you can come up with that minimum down payment
Yes.
as a first-time home buyer, a veteran, or in the military, man, as soon as you're eligible, nothing down. No, you don't have no money down. And then getting to the closing cost part, sellers are helping out, and that's the shout out to the sellers. Here's why sellers, realtors, buyers, everybody needs to be aware of this. Why are closing costs higher when technically they're not? So section 1, closing. This is all the closing cost fees, everything involved when buying a house. You have your section 1, which is your hard cost. That consists of your third-party fees and your lender fees and all that. We went over that. Number 2 is your prepaid items. What are prepaid items? Well, those are costs that all homeowners have every year, all the time, which are your property taxes, your homeowner's insurance. And there's some daily interest in there but the prepaid items, those are going to be the same regardless because they're going to set up certain reserves for the taxes and insurance because they're due every March and November.
Yes, and let me just let me back up a little bit because I have a friend. I deliver to this place in Lancaster, and a friend that comes up to me every time I'm delivering. He asks me questions because he watches my YouTube channel, and he he gets an earful of my knowledge, right? So he asked me, "Hey, Ray, how do you do this? How do you save up so much money in order to get to that next level? Because I'm so limited right now. I have these expenses. I just bought my house." And it's so hard for me to save money, he tells me. So I suggest for anybody that's trying to get to the next level, what's helped my wife and I out is put it on paper. Create a balance sheet which is your income versus your expenses, right? And wherever you can eliminate expenses, cut down costs, do it. That's a monthly cost that will save you in the long run thousands of dollars, right? When you look at it in the long run. So, guys out there listening, if you guys haven't bought your first house yet, okay, remember, budgeting, saving for that down payment is so important because you have to get qualified by the banks first before you can buy your house, right? That's going to be the first step, getting pre-qualified. Now, If you don't have that down payment, how I learned to budget was basically my wife and videos teaching me how to budget money, how to create a balance sheet, and how to eliminate costs that you don't need.
Yeah, and that's huge. And you and Matt, and also taking, working your butt off. Working your butt off.
Yes.
And getting down to that first time making the move, because time goes by fast.
Quick.
One house leads to another. We say 1 year, 2 years, 3 years goes by so fast.
Fast,
And if we
guys.
break down Raymond, how did he get to the next levels and get that? And really, yeah, he's working and stacking and doing the budgeting right. But what was it? Okay.